I'm just going to give them the go in chat because we are on the hour here, which means that we're ready to get this one underway. Hopefully the teams are ready as well. Looks like they are. So let's get into this one. Space Station. They have just been sneaking through that bracket at the very bottom here. We've been looking at all these upsets happening at the top half. G2 getting upset. NRG getting sent down early to the lower bracket. And, you know, a bunch of others, Cloud9. I'm forgetting others because there's been so many. But yeah, meanwhile, Space Station, they've actually just been smashing everybody that they play. And are they going to do it again? Are they going to make everybody that's been losing to Team Meteor look very normal? Because Team Meteor have had a great run so far, but it would be a shame if the winner bracket just ends here with them getting destroyed by Space Station. But, you know, you look at Space Station, I would say comfortably at, you know, based on recent results, they've had the third best results for 3v3. Behind NRG and G2, they've had, well, they've got Arsenal, who's a very like solid ones player. He's beaten Com today. He's consistently high in the top 100 leaderboard. Extremely experienced player when it comes to competitive as well, which I think is going to help him out significantly in those high pressure situations. And then you got Typical for 2v2, who's been rank 1 in the game mode several times by ridiculous margins. So yeah, very well-rounded team here. I thought that Space Station, G2, Rogue, and yeah, maybe PK, depending on how well Alraz fitted into the team. I thought they were going to be the top RLCS teams in terms of flexibility and in terms of consistency across all the game modes. Obviously, PK down into the lower bracket already. G2 sent into the lower bracket as well, although that was, you know, up until then it was going great for them. You think Sip and Arsenal are probably the best twos throws with the SRG boys? Yeah, Sip and Arsenal are really good at twos, and look at these guys, just they're ripping Team Meteor apart here. Everything that they do is just one step ahead. It's just too accurate, too fast, too powerful. And Space Station just look like they're on another level here compared to Kyrios and Adam. Yeah, this Team Meteor lineup, they're not a one-trick pony. You know, they've got a threes team who have been taking games. They took a game off Cloud9, so they're absolutely capable. You know, they've conceded 3 to Space Station here, but don't judge them just based on that alone. They've taken 2s games. They've been playing really well in the 1v1 as well, with Sharp coming into the lineup. You know, we have seen, I think every team that has got that flexibility is just benefiting from it, even if it's not bringing in a 1v1 player, even just bringing in a player who can change up your team's playstyle in 2v2 or 3v3. Oh, is Typical flipped the wrong way? That was open, and it was open as well for Arsenal, but it's off the bar. Okay. Some inconsistencies coming into Space Station's game, but still looking pretty comfortable overall. In the main problems, well, I think there's actually a huge list of problems for Team Meteor in this 3v3 match. Number 1, they're going to struggle to deal with Arsenal's aggression. He's just demoing them everywhere. Right as I talk about it, he's demoed them again. Like, he's just he's playing that role so well, and I talked about this in the previous series that I casted. You know, Arsenal's, I said the Rails is maybe one of the best players in the scene right now. I'm making life difficult for the other team. Arsenal might be the best in North America at playing that role. Because, you know, NRG, they managed to be the best team in NA for a while without really having somebody who plays that role. They did have Justin, but he did it in a different way. A lot more finesse, less physical. Then you've got Rizzo for G2. He plays it really well, but Arsenal, I think, is maybe even a step ahead when it comes to, you know, pure disruption and making the other team's life a misery. He's really, really good at that. Yeah, then you do have Rattles as well. Who else did you guys add to that discussion? Players you don't want to play against because they're going to be annoying. You know, for various reasons. He's not just annoying because the way he plays the game, he's annoying because he plays the game really well. Virtuoso, yeah, in Europe, definitely. Rizzo, yeah, that's I think Rizzo's top 2 with Arsenal, actually. Did mention his name first in the discussion. Ixo. Well, I've not seen enough from Ixo in 3s recently, especially not on his new team, to make a proper analysis on his role there. Jesse, yep, absolutely. You know, Gimmick is another player who is well known for that in the past, but recently he's been less impactful, as Cloud9 have just kind of struggled with their synergy and with their success. I think Cloud9 right now, their biggest issue is that, you know, back when they were playing well, they never doubted themselves. They would always be confident in every matchup, and now it looks like they're just lacking confidence. I think if they get their confidence back, they'll be fine. But, you know, looking at what's straight ahead of us, that is a confident finish by Adam. Very quick up to the open net there. Accurate as well. And this is now a much more respectable showing in the 3v3. Maybe even a chance to steal this game right at the end. Arsenal had to dodge early here. He was going to get beaten to the ball. Luckily for him, both players missed. Adam able to get the ball centre past Sipical. Sipical will be too quick for Carey on the right hand side. Oh, just off with the double touch. Arsenal had demoed the goalkeeper out of the frame. C9 are popping off right now. Are they actually? Or Cloud9 destroying in 3v3? Yeah, definitely. It's hard not to root for Cloud9 to make day 3, just because I know how many people would be disappointed to see them go home. But at the same time, Charlotte Phoenix are one of those teams that are always nearly making it into things. So it's really, really tough to pick who to root for in that one. They're two teams that you just want to see do well. But yeah, if you're a Spacestation fan, then you're going to be pretty happy with how this one's going. They are looking pretty good. I mean, yeah, they conceded 2 goals at the end here, but yeah, still looking pretty comfortable in this matchup. Yeah, they could play the 2v2 anywhere near the level that we're used to seeing from them. Typical and Arsenal are going to just be heavy favorites in this matchup. I think this is actually going to be their best matchup in the series, the 2v2. But we'll see. Sharp is coming in now with Adam. This is the X factor that Team Meteor have got. Their Joker in the deck who's coming in and surprising everybody that they play against. We're just waiting on Adam's ready up here. Then we're going to get into game number 2. You're going to miss a rogue match. You hope they win. I mean, oh, you mean tomorrow. Wait. No, rogue have already qualified, mate. So, actually, there are no more rogue matches in the qualifier. I was getting a bit confused there. I was like, wait, rogue match? Are they in the lower bracket? That's tomorrow. Wait, no, rogue are qualified. So, yeah. Wait. Yeah, that is not the correct spawning positions, guys. Okay, wait. They got it. All right. So the reason we had a little bit of changing there is because Space Station are the higher seed, so they got to choose the team colors to this one. They picked blue, but I guess Team Meteor forgot that, and they just joined in the game as blue. And Space Station were like, guys, that's our team. And they just kept on joining it. And eventually, Meteor got the message, but when they finally got in the right team, they were in the wrong spawning position for the kickoff. Oh, it's actually gone wide. Wow, Meteor hang on for now. So that was about as close as you can come without conceding. And it's still Space Station knocking on the door here. They've got all the boosts. They've got every advantage you could think of in this position. Can Sharp even reach this ball off the wall to challenge it? He won't get a chance to. Sipical's faked him, but gone underneath and landed in reverse. Yeah, this is the way that you want to play twos. I mean, this is how all the best teams in the world play twos. They just, when they get you in this back corner, when they get you around your goal, they keep you there. They make it so difficult for you to leave. You know, if you combine this with solid passing, counter-attacking play, you really have a team that's difficult to beat. Adam countering the demo plays of Arsenal with some of his own. And can he do one better here? No, Sipical was quick up to challenge that ceiling shot, and that really took away any opportunity Adam had to score there. Sipical knows it's so important to challenge any aerial play fast in twos with at least one of your members. It's like Sharp has done for Team Meteor there. Now, this is not quite in, but Sipical will make sure it is. That is a fantastic finish by Sipical. I'm pretty sure this was hitting the bar from Arsenal, but Sipical has just managed to slot it in there by hitting it straight down. Yeah, this is looking pretty rough now for Space Station. I will say that if this does go 2-0 to Space Station, I do think Sharp is, you know, slightly favored against Arsenal in the 1v1. I think he's the slight favorite there, but it's definitely close. And I think if Yeah, if Spacestation do use Arsenal for ones, which I think they will, and he loses, I wouldn't be surprised to see him just rematch 1v1 right away, because, yeah. Team Meteor are probably going to pick ones in this one. Like, you've got Spacestation 3s and 2s, no thank you. Just, let's hopefully get 2 wins in the 1v1 and then see if we can steal a game in Game 5. That's probably their road to victory here. But, you know, this game's far from over for now. Sharp and Adam have looked a bit outclassed so far, but they are only down by 2 goals, and as we all know, 2v2, that is not a large margin at all, especially with how tricky the kickoffs have been. Now, saying that, I've not seen any fake kickoff demo combinations coming out of North America. That was something we saw several times in the European qualifier earlier today for 2v2. NA, not so much. We're seeing much more standard kickoffs. But that's going to be just fine for Spacestation. Arsenal bangs in another one. Sharp can't get there. And yeah, that's just not going to cut it. That shot from Adam's just not good enough. It didn't put Sipical under any pressure. It didn't compromise his position at all. And, oh, wait. I looked at my chat for a second. What was this? Was this a cheeky kickoff by Spacestation, or did they just totally miss the ball on this one? I think they went for a fake. Okay. Yeah, that was a deliberate fake by Spacestation, but instead of charging straight down the middle with their other player, they went to the back corner, which is a bit risky for the reason that you just saw. You might just concede. So, not sure about that one. I mean, I was saying that I haven't seen as many cheeky kickoffs out of NA, but that wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Oh, Arsenal finds the angle. 2 minutes left in the game, and he puts in an absolute belter. That is insane. Spinning into it as well. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to with a diagonal spawn kickoff, usually if you fake the kickoff, your cheating player will want to stay central, because then if the other team do shoot, you can just block it, fire it straight back at them, and then meanwhile your player who faked the kickoff wants to demo the other team's cheater. So, you know, if the kickoff plays pretty standard from the other team and straight towards your goal, your cheating player could just shoot directly, immediately on his touch, and the other team's cheater is dead, so it's just an open net. That is the theory, at least. XP is enjoying a nice steak with his team while teammates are playing this tournament. Yeah, I was thinking about this. There's a lot of 3s players who are just playing one game and then they're like, okay, be right back, guys. Gonna go hang out with the family, have some nice dinner. Enjoy the sweaty 2s and 1s games, by the way. Good luck. You know, it's a good life being a 3s player. You don't have to play these really stressful game modes where that 50-50 could be a goal at any minute. Oh, check out Adam in this play. That's a flip reset double touch off the bar. Sharp with the follow-up. I'm so glad that Sharp put that in so we could watch that flip reset double by Adam again. Put him in the second that we saw today with one earlier on in the EU qualifier from Ahmad, which was an absolute blinder of a goal. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely have to go check it out. Ahmad against Barcelona. You know, despite that fantastic effort by Adam to set up the second goal for... Oh, hold on. I was going to say it doesn't look like they're coming back here. Sipical's having to do so much solo defense. Arsenal like went on a holiday here, or a vacation, if you will. Just left the game briefly and then decided to come back to defense eventually. Sipical somehow managed to prevent Team Meteor from scoring. You know, before Arsenal's little hiatus there, I was going to say that it just doesn't look like Team Meteor have any way to get consistent pressure on this Sipical Arsenal duo, who just have such an easy time getting the ball out of defense. It's one of the things that goes unnoticed about them, I feel. Got a combination of hard clears, dribbling, 50-50s, passing. It's that adaptability, that unpredictability makes them so difficult to score against. It's so difficult to pin back in defense. It's certainly compared to the amount of time that Team Meteor spent in their goal line. Yeah, Adam's already left the game. You know what's coming. Sharp gonna have to rescue his team once again. I think this is the most dire straits that they've been in so far. But it's not over just yet. I did say I think Sharp is a favorite in this 1v1. I stand by that statement. I think that that is true. However, Arsenal has got so much more experience playing under this kind of pressure. He's got so, you know, such a comfortable position here as well. You know, having the 2 games won already. Actually, Arsenal getting a win to start off the game. Fakes the kickoff, comes away with the ball. And he wants a low 50-50 to start things off. Very disruptive play by Arsenal, and it's going to result in a goal. But man, he's really heavy on the mind games early on. Fakes the kickoff, fakes the 50-50, then just trips up Sharp on the landing. And already he's in front. But this is like such an Arsenal goal, man. He is just so annoying to play against. I feel like every time I see what Arsenal's doing, I'm like, yeah, that is just the most annoying thing he could be doing right now from the other team's perspective. Sharp with a brilliant touch over the top of him, and he smashes in the open net. I think Arsenal just gave him a bit too much time on this play. Going up in the wall made it pretty hard for him to make a consistent challenge. You know, I rarely see wall positions being used to good effect there. Sharp wants Arsenal to go for the boost, but oh, he wanted a better touch on the ball before making him go for it. That was not the one he wanted. Sharp beat Squishy and Gimmick. Yeah, I am aware. I would, you know, give Sharp the edge in all of those matchups. I think Sharp in a series would probably beat Squishy, Gimmick, Arsenal, because he's just got so much more experience playing one series. But this isn't a one series, this is a one's game. So, you know, if a player like Arsenal can come in and just play a style that's very difficult to counter, I do think he's going to be focused a lot on mind games, 50-50s, bumps. And here comes another one. Sharp with a good save though. And you know, we've seen a lot of people complaining about air dribble bumps today, but Sharp has the answer. He saved several against Squishy in their 1v1, and he just saved that one against Arsenal as well. It's all about the timing. You need to be so perfect with your arrival for the save. Any earlier, and you're going to get demoed any later, and you're just going to be too late in the play. Oh, well, that's about as close as you're going to get to a Sharp goal this game without it actually happening. Arsenal trying to force Sharp back. He doesn't have enough boost to slow this attack down. Had to keep moving. Yeah, mechanically Sharp's looking pretty sound until he's just missed that wave dash shot. That is going to be pretty problematic. Good vision by Arsenal. He's pretty on point with that. Sharp has just called his bluff on this flick and dominates the challenge. It's a bit questionable by Arsenal. This is very old-fashioned, just dribbling straight at your opponent carrying the ball. If you're not intending to drop it when you see them turn, you really don't see that play very often these days. I don't think the plan went according to what Arsenal wanted there. Right, this one's worked out pretty well, and it's a bit of a role reversal actually, with now Sharp dribbling straight at Arsenal, and also not seeing much success with the flick. It's really strange to see these guys reverting back to this this play, which is about 2 years old at this point in the NA1 scene. Just dribbling straight at your opponent and trying to flick the ball. You know, you sometimes see straight dribbles into air dribble bumps, or huge reverse 45-degree flicks if you're way back at the halfway line, but not so much for these close to the opponent plays like these two are trying to make happen. Yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen here? Type 1 if you think Sharp is going to beat Arsenal twice in a row. 2 if you think that Arsenal is going to win second try. And 3 if you think Arsenal's just going to come back and win this one. Based on what I'm seeing so far, Sharp winning twice in a row is definitely not out of the question. I don't think Arsenal is going to come back and win this one. I think he has to think of a new plan. What he's currently doing is not working. I think for Arsenal to win this matchup, he needs to be unpredictable, and right now he's being quite predictable with all of his movements. Sharp is able to read him, and that is a very nice demo pickup by Sharp to double Arsenal's scoreline. You know, I said earlier that Arsenal's doing a good job looking around. He totally let his guard down there. Yeah, you guys are still guessing. Are you all changing your guesses now that you see Sharp take a 3-goal lead? Don't blame you. I mean, Sharp is getting better and better as we go here. Arsenal doesn't need to rush this. He should just try to solidify, you know, he could have been the one this game to just completely go all in. Only wall plays, only air dribble bumps or something. I wouldn't have hated that from Arsenal. I think throwing a complete curveball at your opponent here would have been smart when you know that they're probably going to pick the same matchup for the next game. Why not hit them with something completely off the wall crazy? Only air dribble bump offense. I would have loved to see that from Arsenal, because I think he's very good at it, and I think the Sharp would have obviously had a hard time dealing with that. And then what if you have to play another game? Just switch it up entirely. Go back to your standard game. That was definitely a good play by Arsenal in this one to keep that ball away from the challenge. And Arsenal is consistently tagging Sharp in all these plays where the two do come close together. He's very good at just nicking Sharp on the drive-by. Oh, Sharp's totally out of the game here. Doesn't have enough boost to reach this one. Arsenal's going to get there first. Is the shot good enough though? No, it's not. Arsenal not able to fire fast enough to take that open net opportunity. He's still going to have a really strong position here. Sharp is trying to get small boost pads. Arsenal mind games it under him. That's more like it from him. He's trying to be as tricky as possible, trying to be as unpredictable as possible. 11-1 for Gengar. Wait, Gengar is killing Ty. I wondered why Gengar didn't play the 1v1 earlier for Lucakari. I thought they were going to use him for that because he's really high rated in ones. Gengar winning 11-2, that's absolutely insane. And Wondermike is beating Ty. Interesting. Well, hey, Arsenal's coming back here. That was extremely careless for Sharp. I don't know where he was going in that play. I mean, he just hit the ball straight into Arsenal, who was just about to make a drive-by. Can Sharp keep up with this one? I think he can. Gets around the kickoff shot, and he's ahead by 2 again. Arsenal's keeping this competitive. He's keeping it close, but with kickoffs as side on as this one, not going to work out. Sharp choking a bit, definitely on the last goal, yeah. It's a big mistake. But, overall, he's looked like the pretty consistent favorite in this matchup. He's been cleaner with his movement. I don't think Arsenal's 1v1 movement is quite as smooth as a lot of the other players that we see. Definitely not as efficient, which, it does surprise me in some way because he is a very, very quick player. There's no denying his speed is there. But in terms of efficiency, he definitely has a way to go when he matches up against someone like Sharp, who's, I think, just more efficient with his boost usage, with his movement around the field. It's a strong kickoff by Sharp, and Arsenal's getting crushed here, but he's only got himself to blame. He's just way, way under the ball on this one. You're not going to win a kickoff against Sharp if you're landing so close to the ball that you can't even jump up and hit it in the middle. Sharp's basically, or Arsenal there really, he's just turned his car into a ramp, and Sharp's popped the ball over him. Yeah, Arsenal's really struggling in kickoffs at the end of this game. It was certainly competitive up until there. There's really only one thing that Arsenal can do if he has to play this matchup again, and that is to completely change up his kickoff strategy. Yeah, these approaches are just not good enough. It looks like he's thinking about it too much now. I think that this is one of the problems that people have when they start losing 1v1 kickoffs. You start to overthink it, and then you're not in your flow state. It's just completely broken. Rocket League mechanics work best when you don't have to think about what you're doing, when it just happens, when you just do what you think. You think about what you want to do and you do it. You don't think about what you're actually doing with your hands and with your car. But right now it's quite clear on kickoffs that Arsenal is he's thinking about every single movement that his car is making, and it just makes it get worse, I think. So at the end of the game, the expected result, but actually looking worse for Spacestation than I thought it would. I didn't think that Arsenal would look this outclassed in terms of boost efficiency and, well, kickoffs definitely. No GG from Arsenal. He might have said GG before the game ended, but I don't know. Maybe he didn't say GG. Who cares? I'm going for the 1v1 again. It's a Sharp ready's up. Sipical is going to join in. Oh, we're getting a change up here. Is Arsenal taking a break from this? No, Sipical left. Okay. Okay. I thought for a second they were going to get Sipical, but no, it's actually, he just left again. He was like, oh, my bad. I shouldn't join here. Maybe he thought they were getting to choose the matchup on this one, but no, it's actually... Oh no, Arsenal has left the match. Hold on, what is going on here? Spacestation? Hello? Sypical has joined the match, okay. The double debate. They are actually going to use Sypical. Alright, this should be interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. I mean, we saw this in the other order from Cloud9 earlier, where they used their player who's not as known for 1v1, and then they brought Squishy out for the second try against Sharp. Meanwhile, Spacestation, they've put in their most experienced ones player first. He's lost to Sharp. Now they're putting in somebody else to just see what happens. Now, regardless of what happens here, I do think that Sypical and Arsenal are probably going to come in and win the 2v2 that happens right after this. I do think that Sypical and Arsenal, Spacestation pick the 2v2 and they win it. That is most likely what's happening. I would give them like at least a 70-30 matchup there. Maybe even 80-20. But this 1v1, I mean, never seen Sypical play once. This could be a disaster. Or who knows, maybe he's a hidden gem. Maybe he doesn't know that he's a 1v1 main. It's a pretty decent shot. Sharp is being forced to double touch this one clear. Doesn't get too much distance on it. Sypical wants to double touch. Side's actually against flying up for this because it was not going to be a good follow. He's in a very strong position here though. Sypical, if he just plays patiently, will get a goal eventually. He just needs to take his time. Make sure to keep Sharp boost starved, and there you go. The opportunity will present itself. Sypical definitely has the mechanical ability to hang with Sharp. You know, there were some times I think where Arsenal was just a slight bit less efficient than Sharp, but Sypical, very fluid mover. That I don't think he's going to have a problem. The main issue for him is going to be the positioning. How close can you go to the ball before you turn around on your fake challenge? How close do you want to let your opponent go to the ball before you flick it over them? These are the things that Sypical might not have experience with, the spacing element of the game. And he did just get caught pretty off guard by a Sharp demo. That's something we saw from Arsenal as well though. Sharp is very good at weaving these in, but check this out, Sypical with the mind game goal now. He is handling this really well. This is a good showing already from Sypical. Very nice play, reversing away from the 50-50, keeping that one under control, sending it on the net. I'd still be surprised if Sypical can get the win here. Like I said in the first killer versus Atomic matches, you're just more likely to see the player who's got experience in ones banging in 3 or 4 goals after some nice kickoffs that they adapt to in the middle of a series. Will Sypical be able to play an entire game here with solid kickoffs? It's the other question. Is he used to adapting his kickoff mid-series to whatever Sharp changes up? I mean, there we go. Sharp's going to put one in, and all he's had to do is dodge the other direction. He realized, okay, Sypical's going pretty heavy on the left. I'm going to go to his right on this one. And sure enough, he gets the win. Now, will Sypical keep on going on that side? Did actually, but I think Sharp might have changed again. This is the real thing. The real things that Sypical might struggle with. You don't see this kind of like slow dribbling into a shadowing defender in any other game mode. And yeah, it was obviously kickoffs don't play as big of a part, although they do play a big part in other game modes as well. They don't play as big of a part as they do in 1v1. All that Sypical needs to know is that, hey, if you're losing lots of kickoffs in a row, try jumping the other way when you reach the ball. It is as simple as that, very often. Your opponent might just be going really, really greedy on one side of the ball. And then you try flipping the other way and you're like, oh, yeah, it's much easier to push the ball past him on this side. Difficult to make that adaptation in the middle of a game though. Oh, Sharp off the bar, but that's actually bounced to safety. Sypical hanging on here. He's got a chance to take the lead, and look at the power. Oh my goodness, Sharp saved this. Insane defense by Sharp. That is unbelievable. Thought for sure when I saw how quickly Sypical sent that shot on target, it had to be a goal. Sypical with 8 boost. Flicks off the ball cam to see where Sharp is. Great awareness in the play. And again, like earlier, he's got a phenomenal position here. This should be a goal, and it is. And the key here for Sypical is he did not let Sharp get a touch on the ball at any stage here. As long as he plays keep away, it doesn't really matter if he's missing the goal with that flick. As long as he gets the ball past Sharp, he can worry about scoring the open net afterwards. That's what he's done. It's a bit fortunate for Sypical. The ball bounced up here, so he's not going to lose kickoff goal. I love that challenge though early. That's really the best chance he had in this play. It might not work, but I'm really impressed by Sypical's awareness of the positions and just knowing what his best play is. You know, just because that play doesn't work doesn't mean it wasn't a good idea. The challenge being early there, I think that catches Sharp off guard sometimes and maybe even gets the counter-attack going for Sypical. It definitely surprises Sharp more often than backing off and doing nothing will, which is what Sypical's decided to do in this play. And that has not worked out anywhere near as well. Yeah, that's just not a good decision. You know, faking a challenge 2 millimeters away from the ball, probably going to result in a goal for your opponent every time they shoot it. Will Sypical go for a wall play here? Wants to go infield. Still has an open net though. He's got the ball past Sharp again. I know overall, no denying Sypical's had the better matchup against Sharp. Arsenal looked like he just fell to pieces a little bit when he was playing him, but Sypical is hanging in there even when he's losing kickoff goals, when he's losing goals off 50-50s, and that is an open net miss from Sharp. Can Sypical get the boost? Oh, he just got beaten to it. It was a good try, but that's probably a goal now for Sharp. He's going to try and pinch it in. Sypical gets in the way of it, but still Sharp in a hugely dominant position. Not the best flick to the near post though. Sypical was able to react to it. Just over a minute left to play. Sypical picking up the small boost pads. He's just trying to keep this ball away from danger until he can get a 50-50 or 100 boost. That's all he needs here, but he doesn't get the touch, and Sharp puts it in. You know, Sypical wasn't far off. Like, just if he side flips here or diagonal flips, I think that's a massive clear, but because he's front flipped, he's just missed the ball entirely. It's that small margin for error. Would have probably been a good enough clear to recover from. It's usually why the side flip is decent in that position. You can actually get back into the game more quickly. Sharp ahead by 1. He's committed heavily to this goal. Has his reset, but doesn't get a touch on the ball. Now that is a massive misplay by Sharp. 1 goal ahead, and he's decided to play the aerial game against a threes main. I am not sure about that one, folks. I think the ground game would have been a better option. I'm not saying Sharp doesn't have aerial offense in ones, but do you really think you're going to catch Sypical off guard with a play like this in this close of a game? I don't know. Another decent fake challenge by Sypical. Has to do more, and he does. That's phenomenal control. Sharp really has to back up now. He's got the boost advantage. Sypical tries to catch him off guard with a wave dash. Sharp has dispossessed him. Late goal here would be devastating. Sypical's fake challenges continue to do work for him though. That's another one that Sharp's fallen for. You know, this late in the game, these could be the difference. Look at this from Sypical. Reverse challenge after faking one forwards. This is some high level 1v1 defense here. But oh, Sharp's got it past him on 0. And now after so many fake challenges, Sypical decides to put in a real one. But Sharp still sees it coming, and that is a fantastic flick. You can't deny that that was clutch. Sharp saw the challenge coming, even though I think before that Sypical made 3 fake challenges in a row. So it's hard to know that that last challenge is going to be a real one. But Sharp, so safe, played that fantastically, and he's bought his team another chance in this series. You know, he had to win 2 1v1s in a row here just for them to get a chance to win this, but they do have that opportunity now. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2v2. Sypical and Arsenal look so insane in that matchup that yeah, I think you'd be surprised to see Spacestation pick 3s, which is crazy to say because Spacestation are so good in 3s as well. But yeah, Meteor are having a good showing in this tournament for sure. And just a reminder, you guys, the loser of this series is not eliminated from the tournament. They will just be sent to the lower bracket to play tomorrow. But yeah, we've got Kerry joining the match, Adam joining the match, Sharp has left the match. You guys know what that means. 3v3 incoming. We just got to wait for the rest of the SSG lineup. Yeah, I don't hate that decision. I think that a team like Spacestation put in like their all-in bets on 3v3. It can't be a bad idea. That just simply can't be a bad idea. But I do think the 2v2 looked better for them. I do think that they were more comfortable in the 2v2. I will say that much. But yeah, there's still definitely the heavy favorites. I think maybe they were 80-20 in the 2v2. I think this is still this has got to be a 70-30. Oh, wait a minute, it's going to be 2v2. We've had a change in the lineup. I got confused because I didn't see Sharp in here, but actually it is 2s. Okay. Interesting. My mistake. I saw Sharp leaving the game, and I thought, okay, this can't be 2v2 then, because Sharp played the 2v2 for Team Meteor. But it actually is 2v2. They're just playing with Curie this time, and they're off to just as bad a start as they were off to in the last one as well. But yeah, I do think this is the best choice for Spacestation. This is smart. They are one of the best 2s teams in this entire tournament. No question about that. They might even be the best 2v2 team in the NA side. That remains to be seen. We will find that out at the end of this. And you know, that's the good thing about the way that this tournament works is, you know, crew battles is a really fun format, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying that for the qualifier. I know a lot of you guys, after seeing how fun this has been, are wishing that we could have crew battles for the final tournament as well. But the downside of that is you wouldn't, you know, you never know who the actual best 1v1 player was, who the best 2v2 team were, who the best 3v2 team were, but there's going to be no question after this who the best teams in each game mode were, because it's just going to be straight up single elim best of 7. You either win or you go home in all 3 of them. Spacestation are rocking and rolling right now. This is exactly what we expected to see from Arsenal and Typical, and it's what we're getting to see. But you know, this really makes me think about SSG's chances later on. When they do run into a team who are able to compete with them in 2v2, then it gets very difficult, because if that team that they're struggling with in 2s also has a good 1s player, are they just losing 2 games? I'm not gonna lie, I expected more from Arsenal today in this 1v1. You know, what I saw from him against Sharp, it's definitely not enough for me to think that he's going to be able to take games consistently off a lot of the top 1s players that are going to be making it into day 3 of the competition. Of course, we already have Alpha Kep in there, Stromboli. He played a beast of a series. Got Lion Blaze. You know, those are already 2 insanely difficult matchups. You got First Killer. Like, you go down the list and you're thinking, how many wins does Arsenal or Typical get in here? I think 0 is probably the most accurate answer based on what we've seen today. And that means that SSG would have to win every 2v2 and 3v3, which is very hard against these teams that I just mentioned, who are very capable in those matchups as well. So yes, SSG have looked extremely good today. They've easily made it into the winners final of this part of the bracket, and they look like they're just going to march on into the actual tournament off the back of their insanely good 2s team. But yeah, they definitely have a weakness. Where their 2v2 is strong, their 1v1 is weaker. It's not as weak as a lot of people thought it was when they saw the lineup. Because yeah, Arsenal's Typical, they definitely were capable of winning against Sharp. But they're not going to be favorites in 1's matchups against any of the teams that have already qualified. That is for sure. Half the game to go. Team Meteor is still alive in this one, but they are not hanging on to much when it comes to life in this matchup. It just looks pretty helpless. Typical and Arsenal are just brutal. It's just insane. You put these guys together in 2s, they play a really, really interesting style together. You know, I was talking in the EU bracket about the way that Vitality play 2s. They're always trying to stay on different sides of the field, left and right. Typical and Arsenal, they actually like to follow each other pretty much straight behind. So every time Arsenal's up in front, Typical's pretty much behind him at all times. And every time that Typical's up front, Arsenal will probably be in front of him, demoing someone. they're always in a line, which is a very different style to what we usually see from EU 2v2 teams. But it works well, because they are so good at knowing what the other player on their team has planned. They're able to synergize extremely well. It shows that they've just got so much experience playing together, so much time in the game mode. And you combine that with their competitive experience that they're gaining from multiple seasons, and there you just I'm talking about it. Cyprical making a play on the ball. Arsenal's probably ahead of him, demoing somebody. Perfect timing on that one. Cyprical's well shot, accurate as you like, and there's no goalkeeper to save it. 4-0. Now this is winner's bracket. GG's from Chrome. I mean, I would tend to agree. But you could have even said that at 3-0 and I would have agreed. But no, this is winner's bracket. If Spacestation win this, they are qualified to the tournament. No surprise there. It's definitely a surprise that they didn't have to beat Cloud9 in the winners bracket to get there, for me at least, because yeah, I thought Cloud9 would be making it through here ahead of Meteor, but Meteor have done well. They've had a really great tournament and they're not out of it. They're going to be playing tomorrow in another qualification match against whoever makes it through the lower bracket to face them. Of course, you can see the bracket over in Wikipedia. Just use the exclamation mark bracket command and click on that. You'll see what the bracket looks like. Every match, if you click on it, will have a time that you can, well, it'll have a time allocated to it, so you'll know when to tune in for various matches if you're only able to catch a few. And yeah, the EU qualifier link will be at the top of the page. If you want to see when the EU qualifier is finishing off tomorrow, that's at the top of the page, top of the NA page. EU qualifier will be happening first. We'll be finishing off the EU one, and then we'll be switching over to NA just like we did today. Oh, that's insane. Pinch mid-air by Cyprical and Arsenal. They're definitely feeling pretty confident now, and why wouldn't they? They've thoroughly deserved this. Dominant in threes, and even more dominant in twos. Cyprical and Arsenal both had a crack at Sharp, and they weren't able to take him down, but luckily for them, they had the other two matchups comfortably in their favor. Should have picked up a one speed. I think they've definitely got a chance. Your boys have they've got chances in 1v1, but they probably just need to get practicing over the weekend. Try and figure out how to try and figure out more 1v1 kickoffs. Because if you only have one 1v1 kickoff, and that is your kickoff, you're in a pretty bad shape if that kickoff starts losing to your opponent. So maybe having more than one is a good idea. But guys, I think Cloud9 versus Charlotte is still happening. It is. So actually, I'm going to sign off right now. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting the stream with an insane amount of subs and people tuning in and just hype throughout the day. Really hope you've enjoyed today as much as I have. But I'm going to host CJ because he's still live with Cloud9's match. What's his Twitch? Is it just CJ? No, it's CJ RL. I'm going to host him before the match is over. It looks like it's in Game 5 versus Charlotte Phoenix. Super hype stuff. But yeah, GG's guys. Let's do it again tomorrow. Should be a good time. But yeah, I really wish I could shout out all the people who have been subbing and cheering today. Way too many of you. But yeah, you know how much I appreciate you guys. Let's go blow up CJ's follow button and see who wins between Cloud9 and Charlotte Phoenix. Spoiler alert, Cloud9 are up 2-0 in Game 5, so looking pretty good for them right now. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. I'm going to go and catch some Z's.